Hi, my name is Ronan Kennedy and I'm a career coach and business mentor. One of the big concerns people have these days is dealing with burnout at work. They have a huge amount of tasks on their plate and they find it hard to get through everything, and it can be very overwhelming. So I've got a couple of tips and suggestions for you today. Now, I'm not saying that all of these are going to work for you, but even if you can take one or two of them away, you might find it's helpful, and that will be worth it if you can implement them on a consistent basis. So what can you do? Well, the first one is to reduce distractions. If you find yourself being distracted by notifications on your phone or a lot of notifications on your computer, or people coming over to your desk the whole time and asking you questions in a disorganized way, it can be good to reduce those as much as possible. In my case, I try to turn off the notifications on my phone, so the only notifications I get are from incoming calls, which are the most important for me. It means I can focus more on the deep work that I need to get done. So the next part is about task switching. So some people have deep work, that's work that they really need to concentrate on very deeply, such as writing a report, creating a strategy, putting together a video, or having a meeting. And then there's other types of work which is shallow work. That's like basic administration, answering straightforward emails, or answering straightforward questions from colleagues and so on. So if you're switching between deep work that requires a lot of concentration and shallow work, there is a lag time. In other words, the time it takes you to really refocus into the deep work is time that you've lost essentially. Imagine if you're focused on writing a report and you're on the third paragraph out of 5, and then you have to go and answer a simple question from a colleague. You have to then go back to the report and think, where was I? What was I trying to say last? And what am I trying to say next? And how does this all fit together? And there's usually a lag time of like 5 or 10 minutes between that, depending on how good your concentration is. So if you can reduce that lag time and focus on deep work in certain times of the day and focus on shallow work in certain times of the day and chunk those together, you're going to have better use of your time. The next part is about delegation. If you can delegate work to other people, it's going to take some of the stress and some of the work off you. Now you might think, look, in my position, I'm not able to delegate, or you might think that if I delegate work to people, it will actually take longer for me to explain it than if I just do it myself. But if you think of that in reality, if you take work off someone because it's actually quicker for you to do it, and take work off someone else and take work off somewhere else, now you have 3 extra jobs that you've just taken on. You can see how this could lead to burnout really quickly. So what should we really be doing? Well, if you think, yeah, initially it's going to take longer for you to do this work because you're going to have to teach them, you're going to have to answer their questions and check their work and so on. It will take longer at the start, but as time goes on, you'll be able to delegate more work to them and you'll be able to free up more of your time to focus on what you really need to focus on. So in the short term, it takes longer, but in the long term, it's going to save you time. After that, prioritization. So we've heard about prioritization a lot, but a lot of people get stuck because their manager or their colleague might say everything is a priority. But logically, that doesn't make sense. If something is a priority, it means it's the most important thing. But if everything is a priority, it means that nothing is a priority because they're all on the same level. So it's really important that we can go back and figure out, well, is anything more important than the other thing? Or is there a time constraint on one thing? Or is one project more valuable than the others? Is there any reason I should do this above doing something else first? So once you figure that out, then you know how to direct your energy. And the very last tip I have for you is about saying no. It can be difficult to do for many people if they're not practiced in it. But I think a good thing to do is to get used to saying no a little bit more, because that will free up your time and stop you taking on these extra tasks. You may say, Ronan, hey, I'm not in a position where I can say no. I can understand and accept that as well. But it's a nice idea if you just take 5 minutes and write down a couple of ways of saying no in an elegant way, in a way that you feel comfortable saying no. For example, it might be a slow no where you just say, look, could I come back to you on that? I need to figure out how it's going to fit in. And it just buys you a little bit of time to work out how to say no properly, or to see if you can fit this task into your calendar. So I think a good suggestion, write out a couple of ways you could say no that you feel comfortable with, or a couple of ways to delay saying yes to give yourself more time, to buy more time. So I hope that has helped. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.